how long would you survive at a job where everyone hates you? Everyone. But you are paid handsomely. I think we all say, yeah, we would do that in a heartbeat. But there's got to be a breaking point at some point, right? Like at some point you're like, okay, this has been a lot.
The headache isn't worth the amount of money you're making when you already have a large amount of money.
Right. And I would assume that the only people that you would be able to have a favorable interaction with would be people who also have made a similar amount of money. And maybe that's all you want. Maybe you want to move on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky. But I wonder if you're the commissioner of the NFL, you're Roger Goodell, like if you enjoy it. You're getting paid a ton, obviously, but you are just being used as a meat shield for a bunch of dumbass owners like Daniel Snyder. Or if you're Rob Manfred, and we found out yesterday that Rob Manfred has been extended as commissioner of baseball. And look, I will admit that Rob Manfred's changes to the sport this year, maybe not so much the keeping of the runner on second base in extra innings, which I don't hate, but I know some people it rubs them the wrong way. The pitch clock adaptation and the banning of the shift and the bigger bases, I think, have all been a net positive. I think there was a lot of pushback against it from some of the baseball old heads who thought it would dramatically change the game, and maybe it has picked the pace up a little bit. And I will agree with some of them saying that the playoffs should not have any pitch clock, but I think some of the measures Manfred has taken this year have been good. The problem is just about every single fan base in baseball hates Rob Manfred, and a lot of it has to do with the Houston Astros. The Houston Astros fans, we don't like him because of the railroading of the Astros when it was seemingly pretty evident other teams across the sport were doing it at the same time as the Astros. But they wanted to tie that one up with a neat little bow and move on and never have the integrity of the game challenged again. Then you have the 29 other fan bases, many of whom are pissed off at Rob Manfred for how he handled the Astros punishment, where no players got suspended. And on top of that, the time that he called the trophy a piece of metal, there's also a thought that he might be a little bit biased towards the New York Yankees. They extended him. I wonder about this one. I mean, I know that a lot of the baseball diehards are going to disagree with me on it. And you know what? It's your right to. You like the sport more than I do. But I do think the measures that they have taken this offseason are good. And that is like a feather in his cap. But, man, who likes Rob Manfred?
I mean, these are the same owners that let Bud Selig be commissioner for like 20 years.
That's true. I mean, and these guys are a lot more private than the NFL's owners. So you're probably taking a little bit less flack for them. Because a lot of owners, like everyone just knows, oh, yeah, they're the poors, or they're the cheapos.
Like, they're cheapskate. They're just like pocketing the revenue share. That's all they're doing.
Twitch.tv/ESPN 97.5. King of all Twitch says Selig is better than Manfred.
Man, this is really tallest little person.
Right, exactly.
Neither of them are good.
Or as Nick Casario bot in the last segment said, like a micro Schmenzer competition. Like whoever has the biggest 1-incher, like, oh, congratulations. That ain't good. Selig's big thing was that the game stopped on his watch in the middle of what was a pretty interesting season. Like that, right? Like that was 1994, right? Was that, am I wrong on that?
I'm not sure if Selig was commissioner then.
Or was he made commissioner then? I don't know, because I was just a wee lad at that moment in time. And Sean, I don't believe you had been born into this world.
1994, no, I had not.
So he was the commissioner of baseball from 92 to 98. So he was.
Oh, okay.
He was there. Wow. Only until 1998? Oh, check that.
No,
My bad.
yeah.
He was acting commissioner from 1992 to 1998 and official commissioner from 1998 through 2015. So and he was preceded by Faye Vincent. Look, it was under his watch that the sport stopped and that there wasn't a World Series. And I can't think of another sport that's had a championship not even played in that season. And then on top of that, there was we don't care about steroids that changed to we really care about steroids over a period of 10 years.
Yeah.
And the hypocrisy there. Look, I'm not saying I like Manfred. I just think Selig did a lot of bad things to the game.
Yeah, if you're anti-steroids, he oversaw the steroid era. He didn't do anything about it for years. That would be a bad thing if you're anti-steroids. If you're pro-steroids, it's what he did afterwards, where he let steroids save a sport and then demonized everyone. So, his position on steroids is an unwinnable one.
We can cue up the garbage time music here because I just want to keep dumping on Bud Selig because we stumbled into something here.
Yeah, let's dump on Bud Selig.
Sean, he was elected to baseball's Hall of Fame with a 93.7% vote. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know if there is a different vote for non-baseball players than there is for players. But 93.7% of people who vote in the Baseball Hall of Fame saw fit to vote this guy in when a work stoppage canceled a championship. NBA's had a couple of strikes. There have been titles played. The NFL's had a couple of strikes. There have been titles played, even with replacement players. Hockey, I think, had a season that actually got locked out. It was the year after the Lightning had won the Stanley Cup, which bummed me out because I didn't get to watch hockey that year. And I'd really gotten into it the season before. But this is the only guy who saw that happen. And he was the pincushion for all of baseball's owners for all of those years. Hey, he made the Astros leave the National League for the American League, too.
Wait, would you say the percent of his Hall of Fame?
93.7%.
So he had a higher percent than Pedro Martinez, than John Smoltz.
Jesus, are you kidding me?
Than Craig Biggio, Frank Thomas.
I don't really know what to say.
People, a higher percentage of people voted for him.
Wow, I feel like we're making a pretty strong argument that even though we don't like Manfred because of what he did to the Astros, that Selig was worse. I think you have to say it.
Yeah, I think you do too. I keep scrolling through looking for the biggest stars I can see that had Ozzie Smith had 91%.
Unbelievable.
Wade Boggs 92.
Okay, this is driving me crazy. Barry Bonds not in the Hall of Fame. Roger Clemens not in the Hall of Fame.
Dave Winfield.
Bud Selig, who lost in a work stoppage. Imagine being a suit and losing to labor. How much do you suck?